Hello, everyone, and how are y'all doing today? Hope it's well. My name is Carly Bell, and I'm here today to unbox and show you the new September quilt block from the Perfectly Piece subscription box from Me Time. I'm stumbling on my words this morning. I hope everyone is having a good morning so far. So let me check the chat real quick. All right, good morning. Hey, Star and Norma and Wolfgeist. Wolfgeist, I forget your real name. It's not Liz. I can't remember what it is. Remind me again. But how are y'all doing? Yay. Let's see. Hi, Chantel and Karen. I hope y'all. Joe. Okay, try to remember. Oh, my dog's going nuts. So, good morning. I hope you're doing well. If you hear some strange noises going on behind me, I have some people here that are painting and getting the next room ready. So as you know, we recently renovated this room, and they scraped the popcorn off the ceiling and they painted the walls. Well, they're doing that in the adjoining room now, which is our playroom. So it might be a little loud. I'm hoping it won't be distracting, but I told them, I'm like, my sewing machines are loud. Embroidery machines are loud. So it shouldn't be a problem. But I hope y'all are having a great morning. Yay. Karen subscribed to Perfectly Piece and Bella. I need to get back to my Bella box. I haven't been working on the projects in there. I have to tell you though, I am now obsessed with making the projects from these Perfectly Piece box. Now, originally, I am very intimidated by projects that involve multiple hoopings. I don't know why, but I want to be wham, bam, done. And so when I know something has multiple hoopings and I have to put things together, in my head, I'm like, I'm just worried about even starting it, because then I'm like, am I ever going to finish it? However, I have gotten over that fear because I have made all the blocks from this box already, except the one that we're going to make today. So I'm really super excited about it. It's coming together. Y'all are going to love it. It's so cute. So yay. All right. So quickly, let's go over what we're talking about today in case you are new to Perfectly Piece. So this is a subscription service. There's two options. You can get it digitally delivered to your Me Time account. And Me Time is under the Kimberbell umbrella. So you can expect beautiful designs, good stitch outs, and beautiful instructions. So you have the option to get the digital subscription, which then just gives you the files and the instructions and everything you need to use all of your own things you have at home, all of your fabric stash, which I know we all have way too much of. However, you can never have too much fabric. So you also have the option of getting the physical box delivered to your house. And that's what I'm going to show you what's in it today, the beautiful fabric. And then we are going to stitch out a block. And as I said, I've gotten really excited about this one. After we stitch out the block, we're going to put it all together. I only have a few more things I need to sew to make it complete. And we're going to make a pillow cover because it just so happens the color scheme of this month's box goes perfectly with my living room. And I love it. It's going to look great in there. And I think I need to get more fabric so I can make two of them so they can go on each side of my sofa. So that is what Perfectly Pieced is. It is a subscription box. Now, what kind of subscription box? It is a quilting in the hoop on your embroidery machine subscription box. So we are going to learn how to make a quilt block in the hoop. It comes in several size options. I'm making a big one today. I also made small ones though. The last time we went over the August box, I used my PE 800 and we made a 4x4 block. Today, I'm going to make the big one, the 8x8 block, and I'm using my Baby Lock Altair to do that. Okay. All right. So let's go ahead and jump in and see what's in the box. Let me switch you over here. All right. So this is the lovely physical box that you can get delivered to your house. And they always have very nice packaging. You can see when you open it, and it comes with this paper here, and it tells you the month. So this is September 22. And the actual files are still digitally delivered, and you can find them in what's called your account in Digital Library at metimedelivered.com. Okay, so that's where you're going to sign up for your subscription. You're going to have an account there, and that's where you get all your embroidery designs downloaded from. Okay, so that is still delivered digitally. All right, after that, we have beautiful color instructions, and a little hint, this is what we're making. So that is the back. Okay, so this is the single block with quilting instructions. There are several instructions that come in your digital downloads, but this is the one that covers everything you need to know to put a quilt block together. And then they have other instructions for tips and tricks on putting together the sashing, the binding, different ways that you can arrange the quilt blocks to get different designs, and even make a bench pillow or long wall hanging. But these are the instructions you're going to want to have printed out, because they go through step by step everything you need to know to put this block together. So you get that printed out for you, along with sizes for cutting out fabric for the different blocks, and then the fabric. So I have already cut out everything I needed to make an 18 by 18 inch pillow. I still have all of this fabric left over. So let me show you. With every fabric, let me go over here real quick. Okay, with every fabric bundle that you get, you also get a cute little card. And on the back is a quilting tip. So I have the other two cards from my other boxes. I meant to pull them out because I want to start arranging them, because they're going to make some kind of cute photo once I think you have all 12 boxes maybe. It's going to make something cute that we can frame, I think, when we're done. So I'm excited about seeing that come together. So there's your little box. And then let me show you the fabric. So here we have this pretty floral. Now this is the one you get the most of. I think we got a yard of this fabric. I want to say total you should get between 2 to 3 yards of fabric altogether. This is the one they gave me the most of, and this is what I'm using for the back of my pillow. All right, so we have that one. See, I still had some pieces left. We have this really pretty peachy solid, this sky blue solid. We have a dark charcoal color solid, and then our prints I really, really love. I love this green geometric print, and then they have this blue, navy blue, and it's, I don't know if you could tell, but it's got a honeycomb design on it. Really, really pretty. And then this rust colored fabric that has a very small pattern on it. So it just so happens my living room is rust navy. I have bits of green, not a lot, but I do have some of this mustard yellow color in the flowers. So this goes so well in my living room. So I'm really excited about this coming together. So as I said, I've already cut out all the fabric to make the 18-inch pillow, and I have all this left over. So I can use this for other projects, which makes me happy. All right, so there is our fabric bundle for this month. And then lastly, you're always going to get a spool of thread, and this is glide thread. And this is a really it's a gray blue color, and it's dark, and I like it a lot. So I'm using this for the quilting today. And then they always give you some sort of notion. So like previously, I got these clips in my first box, and those are coming in very handy because I've been using these to clip all my blocks together before I sew them. But this month we get a really cute tape measure, and it has a little button on the back to suck it back in, and it's really cute and helpful. I always like to have, I know this is great for your sewing room, I always like to have these in my purse because it never fails. I am somewhere and I'm thinking about something, and I'm looking at what I'm buying, and I want to measure it to make sure it works for whatever I'm thinking. So I like to have these in my purse. So this is a really cute little tape measure. So that is everything that comes in the physical Perfectly Pieced subscription box that gets delivered to your door. Okay, are there any questions about the box? Or are y'all ready to start putting together the quilt block? All right, I already see Karen. We're going to go over a stabilizer, Karen. I suggest you use a poly mesh cutaway. However, I am experimenting today with tearaway. I've also in the past made a pillow with regular medium weight cutaway. So I don't think you could go wrong. I did all my small blocks with poly mesh, but I think that's the go-to. All right, Joe's already saying she could tell it's going to be beyond her budget. It is not bad, Joe. It is not bad. Now, if you want to just get the digital files and have everything you need online, it is only $19 a month. So, and that gives you, and don't think of it as you get multiple files in tons of different sizes, not only for the specific quilt block, but for all over quilting using the tiles. Where's my tile? The clear blue tiles. They come, if it's the first time you are subscribing, it's like the first box you're receiving. I can't find them. Here they are. You are going to get the clear blue tiles. You're going to get 2 of them. You're going to get a 4x6 and a 6x10. And this is for all over quilting, edge to edge. And there is a specific quilting design you're going to get with that month's box. Then on top of that, you're also going to get the specific block for that month that is made in the hoop, one at a time. And that's what we call the single, where is it at? Single block with quilting. So you get tons of files, and that's all for only $19 a month. Now, if you want the physical box with the fabric and the notion and the thread, that is going to be $49 a month. And the fabric is really nice, and they use different designers, and they'll tell you on the back of here that we have, I'm going to say it wrong. No, that's Maywood Studio, Andover Fabrics, Wyndham Fabrics. Those are the designers that they used for this month's block. And this tells you here all of the digital contents that you're going to get. All of the PDF instructions, the embroidery files for 4 different size blocks, and additional coordinating quilting designs, both for clear blue tiles and for block by block quilting method. And then additional resources, which I love because those are the really pretty instructions on how to piece it together, how to add sashing, how to add binding, all the things that like I am not an expert on. Beautiful instructions on how to do that. All right. Yeah, and that's the great thing, Joe, is that if you, like, that's the whole point of this video today, is so that I can show you the fabric ahead of time and you can see, this color scheme is really not working for me. You can get the digital. And that way you use the fabrics at your house. And then say in another couple months, you see the box and you have to have those fabrics, then you can change it to the physical box and get the fabric. So that's the nice thing that you can do there. All right, so let's look at the blocks. So let me show you what I got so far. Let me get all this out of the way. All right, so this is my mess of what I have together so far. So it's one thing to like see the stack of fabric, but then to see it come together really makes me happy. So this is what we're making today. We are specifically going to make this block today. Let me hide this so you can see better. So this is the block we're going to make today. This is 8.5 by 8.5 inches total. But once we sew the pieces together, it will be 8-inch by 8-inch final. And we're going to make that in this hoop here. And I already have some tearaway stabilizer hooped. However, poly mesh I think works really well for them for the blocks, and I used poly mesh for my 4x4 blocks. So each of these blocks is 4.5 by 4.5. I actually made these in my 6x10 hoop on my other machine. And what I did was you can fit 2 4-inch blocks on a 6x10 hoop. So I stitched 2 at a time. So I stitched the 2 blue ones, then I stitched the 2 green ones, then I did 2 hoopings for the pink. So the pink is just a single square of the fabric, and then I just did the last step of the quilting design on top of it. So you could see that there. And then the rest was pieced together. And there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 pieces of fabric that come together to make this block. And because you are doing it in the hoop, you are going to get perfect corners. And it's really cool to see it come together. All right, so like I said, I got really excited about this one. So I was actually making things ahead of time for once. So I made, what is this, 8 4-inch blocks, but I did them in only 4 hoopings, which was nice. And then I folded these 2 together and pieced it, these 2 together and pieced it, then folded these 2 together and pieced it with a 1/4 inch seam allowance. Same thing to this one. And then when I was done, I went ahead and sewed it to my big block. So when we're done today, we're going to make another big block. We'll sew it to this, and then we'll sew it all together. Okay, so I'm going to put this on the side, and I have all my pieces of fabric cut already for what I need today, and all of that is in those PDF instructions. It tells you beautifully, like laying out a whole piece of fabric, the best way to cut your fabric so that you can get all the pieces you need without wasting anything. So that is what I've done here. And so now we can go over to the machine and get started. So the only other thing you're going to need is quilt batting. And then I like to use my tweezer applique scissors. I'll be using those as well. And then the thread that comes with the box, or you can use whatever thread you have at home. Okay. All right, I'm going to switch y'all over to the machine. So today I'm using my Baby Lock Altair. This is a sewing and embroidery machine. So you're going to see how I'm going to switch it over to sewing when it's time to piece the blocks together. Give me a second. I want to turn my computer so that I can see it when I'm at the machine. Okay. Don't want to mess anything up. All right. So let me see if I missed any questions. All right. Okay. So Baby Lock Altair. It is a beautiful machine. Absolutely amazing. I still haven't figured out all the things that it can do, but it does a lot. This is a 9.5 by 9.5 hoop. It also comes with a 9.5 by 14-inch hoop. That is the largest embroidery field on this machine, which is amazing because that is bigger than my 10-needle machine. All right, and I have the design already loaded. Actually, with this machine, you can wirelessly move the design from, I use Embrilliance, straight over to the machine. So I don't have to do any USB sticks or cords or anything like that. I have the design loaded, and the first step is always going to be a kind of placement stitch to show you where to put your batting, because with these, what we're doing today, because we're not making a traditional quilt, we're making a pillow, a quilted pillow, we don't have to worry about doing the quilt sandwich at the end, to do our quilting at the end. We're going to do everything in the hoop at once and piece the blocks together with the batting already in it. And it's designed to where the batting is like inset, so that you don't have the bulk of sewing through the batting when you piece the blocks together. So that's makes it nice. Okay, I don't have any thread on there. Let me thread it. Now, you also, and that's why they give you all those designs, because if you do want to make a traditional wall hanging, blanket, anything quilt, you can just piece the blocks together with no batting and no quilting, then make your quilt sandwich, and then use either the block by block method or the clear blue tiles method to quilt your sandwich together with your backing, your batting, and your block. All right, so this machine threads the needle like butter. It's really nice. All right, I'm gonna lower the presser foot, and now we're gonna get the placement stitch for the batting. And I have coffee. I am drinking. And you'll notice with a big machine like this, you want to make sure, you see I have my window and my wall here. I have the machine pulled out as much as I can to the edge of my table. I can go probably a few more inches if I needed to. But with the hoop I'm working on, I make sure that the hoop is not going to hit the back wall or my window back here, because you don't want it to bump and get out of alignment. So that's something to always remember when you're working with flatbed machines like this with the big hoops. I know when I put my 14-inch hoop on here, I really have to pull my machine back away from against the wall. All right, so now I have a square that is showing me exactly where to place my batting. So I'm putting that here. And I do suggest that you tape the batting into place, because it can shift and bubble in certain places that you might not want it to. So I have some of the Kimberbell paper tape I used previously. I just keep reusing it until it doesn't stick anymore. So I got that there, and then we'll lower the foot, and it's going to do the same square again. And the next step is kind of like an applique step, and we're going to trim that excess batting away, and that is going to make sure that we don't have all that bulk when we're piecing it together. All right, Joe says she's winning stuff on Sewing Machines Plus, but all she really wants is a sewing mat. I really like my sewing mats. I have two of them. I have one under this machine, and right next door I have, you can see, I have the NQ 3600D, and I have a sewing mat under that one too. So they come in different sizes. Put you over here. Make sure I got you right. There we go. So it is going around twice for our batting. Let's see. Hope X, do I have an embroiderings video? Yes, I do. I have, if you're just wanting to go over basics of embroiderings, yes, I have a couple, and I'm hoping to make some more. But if you just go to my YouTube channel, if you go to YouTube and just search Carly Bell, you can find my channel. And I have a couple of embroiderings videos, and you'll see the picture, and it'll show the embroiderings screen. All right, so now we are done with the batting. Okay, and like I said, we're going to treat this like an applique now. Let me take my tape off. I don't know if I could use it again. Let's see. And I'm going to use my favorite applique scissors, and I'm just going to trim right on that stitch, outside that stitch line. All right. And I think I've heard suggestions of saving the strips of batting can be used for small projects like straps. You can save them. And so I'm just going around with my little scissors and getting it trimmed. I hope my arm's not in the way so y'all can see. Okay, so that's it. We are all trimmed with the batting. Now slide it back in. Okay, now the next step is it is going to do a complete outline of all the house quilting for it. And that's just to give you kind of a viewpoint of what we're putting together today. All right, let me check the comments. All right, Norma asks what size hoop I'm using. It is a 9.5 by 9.5 because the block itself is 8.5 by 8.5. So it is a smidge too big for me to use on my Persona, which has an 8 by 8 embroidery field. I have not played yet with possibly shrinking the 8-inch block down to fit my Persona. I was thinking about it today. I think it would work, but it would mess up the seam allowance. So I have to think about it and how I would go about making a block on my Persona that's 8 inches. All right. All right. So what does the sewing mat actually do? It helps with vibration, and it's supposed to actually help damper the sound from the vibration and then keep your machine from vibrating. So I didn't always have these mats under, and I actually had indentations in the wood underneath the mat when we moved this table from my old craft room to this one. I had indentations where the sewing machine was on the white part of the table, so I put my mats down underneath them, and that's helping a lot. Okay. All right, Kathy wants to know if the Altair comes in an embroidery only version. I want to say the Meridian is the embroidery only version of this machine. I think that is right. However, it's weird though. The Meridian is one of the baby lock machines you have to go buy from a dealer. You can't get it online. And at a dealer, it probably costs the same or more than this machine. I would assume. I don't know. I usually find when the machines are available for online purchase, the prices are better. Okay, Brenda, how many embroidery machines do I have? I have a few. I have 5. I'm giving one away, so I have 5. I started with a Brother PE 770, which I'm giving to my mother-in-law because I just got the Brother. What did I do with my thing? PE 800, which is the newer version. Then I have the NQ 3600D, which I just showed you. I have I'll show you around. I have the Persona, which is a Brother single needle machine right there. So those are the 3 on this row. And then I have a Ricoma 10 needle machine around the corner here. And that's my big daddy. Between this one and the Ricoma are my big ones. All right. So, and yes, Sheila, this machine also works as a sewing machine. All right. I know I'm late on the comments, so I'm gonna look back at them in a second. So we're done with the outline, and let me show you what it looks like. So it did this outline here outside the batting. That is actually your, I think that shows your 1/4 inch seam allowance. So that's the final block is going to be that line where you cut. And then this line is where your 1/4 inch seam allowance is. And it's right outside the batting. And then it shows you all the blocks that we're going to put together today. So the first one we're going to do is the door. And again, you can use any fabrics, any combinations that you want. I am using that dark charcoal piece for the door, and you just place it right on top of where the door is, and you'll notice the piece is much larger, but we need it to be that way because it's going to do stitch lines on the really outer edge of where you have it cut. So I have it there, and because we're using a solid piece, doesn't matter, but this is the only piece that you want right side up. All the other pieces we're going to put right side down, but this first piece is right side up. So if you use a patterned fabric, you want it right side up for this one. All right, so it's going to stitch just one line down. And the way the in the hoop quilting works is it's really just one line at a time, and that line, it works as a placement line to show you where to put the next one. And it's kind of like, is it called piece by piece quilting? I forget what it's called. Okay, so that one line went down the black fabric. Now, the next fabric is the side of the house here. And I want this to be right side down. And I am putting it right where that stitch line was. So, can you see that stitch line? It's hard to see with this fabric. Okay, but there's one stitch line there. That is my guide to where to put this fabric. So I want to put the edge of this fabric right on that stitch line, right side down. And I'm going to put that back in, and it's going to stitch again. It's not going to stitch in the same exact spot, though. It's going to move over a little bit because your fabric wouldn't catch if it's stitched in the same spot, because that is just our guide. Okay. Let me go turn my iron on while I'm thinking about this. Another handy tool to have when quilting in the hoop is the mini iron. And I have a little wool mat. And I'm going to show you why it's helpful. Okay, so that piece is done. And you can see the stitch line here. See it there? Now we're going to take this and we're going to pull it over. And that's where the piecing, that's how the piecing is working from this point on. Stitch right side down, pull it over. Stitch right side down, pull it over. So you can go and iron after every one, but I found I can just hold this one out the way and go on to this block. Once both of these are in, then I'm going to take it over to the table and iron. So I'm going to put this back in. Now it's going to stitch a placement line for the other side of the door. Let me check on the comments here. Okay, I see other people telling me they have a handful of machines, so I'm not the only one with all these machines. Thanks for making me feel better. All right, so it had one little placement line here. That is showing me where to put the edge of the next piece of fabric, which is going to cover up this block. And we want it to be face down with the edge of the fabric on that line. And remember, it's going to stitch again, and we're going to pull that over. Okay, so that is in place, and it's going to stitch. And I usually don't have to worry about the fabric moving or anything, but you can use some type of stiletto or a wooden chopstick, a pencil, something like that to keep your finger out of the way of the needle if you need to hold your fabric down. Or you can use the paper tape. So we are done with these two steps, and that gives us the bottom of our house. So let's go over to the craft table, and we're going to iron this. All right, sorry, I am a little crooked here. Okay. So this is where we're at right now. Oh. So we stitched this line, and we fold this over. It stitched this line, and we fold that over. So I'm just using my little mini, it's kind of like a travel size iron, and that's going to get those pieces nice and down. All right, the next step is it's going to stitch a line here, and that's going to give me the placement for the top of the house. Now, if that line, when it stitches, and you have a ton of fabric on this side, or you are working with a light fabric going on over a dark fabric and you're worried about seeing these seams, you can trim. Like for instance, when we did the door, this line here, if you could see it on the charcoal fabric, that was my placement. I could trim all the fabric on this side of the placement line. Sometimes I don't think it matters too much because I can't see it through my top fabric, but if you're worried about that, after every placement stitch, go ahead and trim that excess fabric so that you don't see it in the seams underneath, okay? So let's go back to the table. Go back to the machine. All right, and as I said, the next step is the placement for the top part of the house. Okay. Okay, Carol said the meridian is equal to the Altair, but is embroidery only, and it is less than the Altair, so that's good. That is good. So if you're looking for the embroidery only version, you can get the meridian. All right, I am looking at comments. Almost caught up, I think. Okay, so we have that top line, and if I wanted, I could trim that, but I'm not worried about it. So now I have the top of my house fabric right side down, and I'm aligning with that line. And I'm going to show you trimming the fabric because we're going to do it for the blue sections, definitely. All right, so that is in place, lower and stitch. Yes, Joe makes a good point. This is sort of like doing in the hoop bags. Yes. When they have, especially I've seen some bags that have piecing on like the front of the hoop, on the front of the bag, you can do that. Hey, Dawn. That's Dawn from Creative Appliques. How you doing today? All right. So now we have this line just stitched, and we're going to pull that up, and that's going to be the top of our house. So let's go iron that in place real quick. All right. So as I said, it just stitched this line here, and I'm going to pull this up and just iron my seam. All right, now the next part is going to do are these sky blue corners. So we're going to get a placement line here. Then we are going to trim away all that fabric, and we're going to lay our blue piece, and then it will fold over, and then we'll do the same over here. Okay. All right, so lower and go. So now it is placement for one of the blue corners. Oh no, something happened. What happened? Ah. Oh no, it's on. Oh great, it's really caught up. Ah, man. You know, I looked away for 1 second, and this is what happens. It's, oh no, I have more fabric. I can fix this. Okay, let me cut. No. Okay, down. That doesn't help. Man, my fabric didn't go all the way to the edge, and it caught when it passed it, didn't it? Oh man. Okay, let me see if I can redo this. Okay. I think I can still save this. by just cutting a new big piece of fabric for this one. Okay. Ugh, this sucks. I'm gonna pull this out. Okay. So I'm sure y'all saw what happened because I looked away. But when the presser foot started here and when it went, it caught my fabric and pulled it right up. So it might have knocked my thing out of alignment too. So I might start my machine over so that it goes right back in place. But let's fix this. I think we can fix it. And you see, I have a mess here. This block is not working at all. So we are going to cut this out. I could still save all of this fabric for something else. This is no more good. My batting got messed up a little bit, but it shouldn't be terrible. Okay, I have a little hump in my batting right there, but once the fabric is on top of it, it should hide it. So, not the end of the world. I think I can fix this. Let me get this. Where's my stack of pretty fabric? And let me cut a new piece. All right. Yep, Angela, this is how we learn. This stuff happens to all of us, especially me when I'm doing a live. All right, I'm holding this. I'm holding the old piece here and just using it as a guide to cut this out quickly. Okay. Okay. Want to make sure the fabric is, so this is my new piece now, replacing my messed up piece. So what we're gonna do is go, I still have my placement line, so I know where to put my fabric. And I could see that stitch started right out here. One thing we can do to prevent, there's my placement line right there. I'm gonna put this right on top. If you're worried about the bulk of this, I could trim it on this side too. This is that piece of fabric that got messed up. I'm gonna trim that out. And because I know my hoop has probably got moved and out of place, I'm gonna go ahead and restart it and reload the design so that it kind of recalibrates and recenters. And we'll back up to this. And when I do fold it over, I can put a little piece of tape right here to make sure it doesn't catch again. Okay, so let's go back to the machine. Good point. This must be why they send so much fabric, because we are probably going to mess up at some point. Okay. Yes, I see people asking about clear blue tiles. Sewing Machines Plus does have them. And you can use coupon code CarlyBell to save 10% off of just about anything you buy at Sewing Machines Plus. Doesn't work on machines, unfortunately, though. All right. So what are we going to do? We're going to go back to the machine. I'm going to not put the hoop on. Okay. And we are going to go home. Okay. So it's going to move the arm. That is resetting the arm right there. I'm going to go back to embroidery, back to my wireless, scroll until I see my design there. So all the designs that I send wirelessly are saved to the memory of the machine. So I can go back and use them again. Okay, reloaded the design just to make sure it's, I didn't knock the hoop the embroidery arm out of alignment. Now I'm gonna load this. It recognized that I loaded the 9.5 by 9.5 hoop, so it's gonna move it. And now it's perfectly centered in the hoop. All right, now we navigate, and I'm sorry if y'all can't see this well. Let me turn up the brightness and see if that helps. I'm looking screen brightness. Is that brightest? Is that the brightest now? Tell me if that helps y'all see it. Okay, but I see my design of my house. And right here, I have the needle plus minus button. I want to jump ahead to the stitch that gives me this line here. So I'm moving, that was the whole outline. That was the door, side of the door, the other side of the door. The placement stitch for this one, we have that. So the next one is the stitch that actually tacks this down. That is where I want to be. Lower the presser foot. It is not where I think it should be. It is way off. Way off. So maybe me restarting it did not reset my arm correctly because it is obviously not in the right spot. So I'm going to go back home and I am going to turn the machine off. It's going to tell me when I turn it back on. Not have this in. Oops. Man. I needed to move my presser foot up. Okay, turn it back on. Let it think for a minute. Press. Okay, the presser foot will move up and down. Okay, please remove your embroidery frame. Yes, ma'am. The carriage will move. Okay, now it's resetting properly. Now I'm going to put this in. When in doubt, turn off and on. All right, we're going to go to embroidery. See it move to the center. Let me find my design again. House. Okay. Set. Embroider. All right, now jumping ahead stitches. Piece for the door. That looks in the right spot. Other piece for the door. Other for that side. For that side. Placement for that one. Now it looks like it's in the right spot. Now it's going to do the tack down for this. And I'm pulling it over. So I think it's right. Okay, again, face down, right side down. And now this is the tack down stitch. I'm getting my pillow today. I'm not messing this up again. All right. All right. So now tack down. So let's go back to the table and iron that and make the, okay, so I fixed my mess up. I still have this here, but that's getting covered up. Nobody will know. All right, I'm gonna pull that up. Iron that in place. And now we'll go back to the machine. It's going to do that stitch over again, and this time, just to be safe, it's okay if it stitches through this tape because that will pull right out. I'm going to tape that down. Okay, I'll learn from my mistakes. Okay, back to the machine. All right, so now it is going to stitch that corner. And it's stitching on my tape so it won't mess up my fabric again. Okay. No mess up here. All right, now let me show you how we're going to trim that corner. Let's go back to the table. All right, so this is that placement line I just stitched. I can pull this tape off. It's okay that it's stitched through it. It comes right out, kind of like tear away. And now we are going to cut away this piece. Okay, so that is cut. And we are going to take our blue sky corners and we use this as a placement stitch. And it's going to do the same thing, but it's going to come down further. I'm going to go ahead and put my tape in place to make sure, let me go a little higher, that I don't have another mess up. Like that. Okay, now it's going to stitch again here, and then we will pull it over, okay? All right, that is going. So Angela asks, is Perfectly Piece Christmas subscription available for pre-order? So the way it works, Angela, is you can, once you subscribe, you would get every month. So if anything happens like it did last year with the Bella box, I would suggest you start your subscription earlier than before they release what the December box will look like. Because if a lot of people are not subscribed and they see the December box and they're like, oh, I need that box, there's a possibility that they can run out. However, if you already had your subscription in November, you are guaranteed a December box. Same like with the Bella box, even though that only comes out twice a year. If you subscribe to the French Market one, you're on the list. You are getting that fall Bella box when it comes out, which I can't wait for. And Perfectly Piece is the same thing, but then you can cancel your subscription anytime, and then you lose your spot, and you can get back on it again if you see something else you like. Let's see. Chantel says, love the ability to reset. However, if you bumped your design from the original, you will most likely not get it in the right spot. Ask me how I know. Yes. So Chantel, I felt comfortable doing it with this design because I didn't move my design around at all. I loaded the hoop and I started stitching. Now, the last sip and stitch we did, I made a shirt, and once I loaded the hoop on the machine and the design, I moved the design up towards the collar higher. And there was a point to where I thought I needed to fix something and reload it, and then I remembered I moved my needle. There is no way I'm gonna get it back perfectly centered where it was before. So I didn't do it, and it still all worked out. This particular design though, it's fine because I didn't move anything. This didn't cut. I did not move anything when I loaded the design onto the machine. Okay, give me 1 second. I think the thread is not happy. Let me rethread this. Okay. My dog is hiding under my sewing table. Okay, so we have that line here, and now we're going to pull that back. Oh, it's the tape. I'm like, something's not right. The tape is holding the fabric. Okay. There we go. Now you can smooth that out and press. All right. And now we're going to go do the same thing on the other side. Okay, I don't think anything's going to get caught. All right, now it's going to go and do the placement line for the next blue corner. Oh, great. Yes, Angela. So you already subscribed, then once you're subscribed, that's it. They're going to keep coming every month until you cancel. So, and you can keep getting it. You have, well, let's see. No, they do have the skip option. I forgot about that. So I'm almost positive you can skip months with Perfectly Pieced. So I am showing you the September box. If you are not feeling the house, not feeling the fabric, you can skip the box altogether, but still be in line and have your spot for the October box. And I think the same is for the Bella box too. If you see a Bella box reveal and you're like, I'm not feeling that one, and you're already subscribed, you can skip it. But you still have your place for the next one that comes out. So that's an option as well that you can skip. Okay, so I trimmed that piece of fabric. Now I have my blue. I'm using my placement line. I put it there, lower, and go. All right. We're almost done, guys. All right, so let's go iron that in place, and then it's going to do the final steps. Okay, so now that is pressed, and you can see our house coming together. So the final steps are they're gonna put a little doorknob. You can change the color thread there if you want. Then it's gonna do a perimeter, and then the final step is the quilting, which is gonna give you this look here with the lines and the clouds. Okay, so those are the final 3 steps. All right, I think next is the doorknob. No, the outline. And it's stitching on that outer edge, which is your cut line. That's what it's stitching out now. Let's see. Going to bed. There you go. All right. So next is the doorknob. I'm just going to leave it blue. All right, Joe X, I'm guessing this is about skipping. I think you can skip as many times as you want to. I don't think they have any limitation. Oh, Lady Fair, you're talking about the Christmas collection, not Perfectly Pieced. Yes, the Christmas collection, I think, is going to get released October or November. Yes, that is a totally different subscription. I'm sorry, I was confused. I thought you were getting excited about what the Perfectly Pieced box was going to be for December and Christmas time. Yes, so that is another subscription they are coming out with. So the final that I know about is there are 3 subscriptions. The Bella box, which is twice a year. Perfectly Piece, which is monthly and has the physical and digital option. And then the Christmas collection is monthly and is, I think, only digital, I think. And I'm really excited about that one. It's going to be super cute. I am sure. Yes, we definitely need both. All right, so now we're just stitching the quilting of the house, guys. This is the last step. We've been live an hour, which is not bad for me, considering I talk a lot. And then the last steps is just going to be piecing it together. All right, I'm going to move my ironing board. Don't need that right now. The next thing I'm going to do is trimming. And I'm going to use my fancy ruler. I showed y'all previously. It's called a stripology ruler. I've learned to love this thing. It's really cool. And we're going to use that to cut our quilt block. Yay, Hooked on Applique is here. Her two favorite things, quilting and embroidery, and she does beautiful quilting. Yes, I am learning to love quilting. I'm definitely falling in love with it. So, I don't know if we have any Southern Louisiana local people watching, but if you've been to any of the embroidery shows like the Applique Getaway or Everything Embroidery Market, you have seen the booth by All Stitched Up by Angela. She is the best fabric store. Well, she has a store local to me in Metairie, and she's closing it, and I'm very sad about it. But the whole store is on sale, and I went yesterday, and I loaded up on some stuff. Maybe let me show y'all what I got. But she still has her store in Slidell, but that store is about 45 minutes away from me. Let me show you what I got. So she has her whole Metairie store on sale. And the best deal, I think, is on the blanks. And she has a website. So everything I'm showing you, you can go on her website. I got myself a black and gold shirt. I'm going to make myself a saint shirt with it. Then I got me and the girls some Halloween shirts. So I got myself just black and orange. And then I got my girls candy corn sleeves, which is super cute. And then lastly, for Mardi Gras, my husband is in a dance crew, and they all wear camouflage and orange for their dance crew. And so I got me a shirt and the girls a shirt, and I'm gonna make us some 689 Swamper shirts with my husband's dance crew logo on it. So those are the blanks I got. And then All Stitch Up by Angela is really known for their fat quarters and fat quarter bundles. So a lot of the good stuff was already gone, but I got a couple. So these I got as a Halloween. So the bones, spiders, spider webs, and then just this black one. And then I just got some other random ones. I love honeycomb stuff. I really love this pattern. I don't know who this is, but they have them in all the colors. And I have some colors already at home like this, but I got it. Then I got like a tan and brown pack. And then this one's really fun. This one's for the girls to make something. But they had stars and stripes, ice cream cones, rainbows, more ice cream cones, and unicorns. So very cute. That was my haul from All Stitched Up by Angela. She has a website. Y'all can check that out. Lots of good stuff. All right, we are done with quilting in the hoop. There we go. Look how cute that is. All done. So I'm just going to take this out the hoop. Let me clear my space a little bit. Now I got a mess. All right. Then extra fabric out the way. That's for my scissors. Okay, so this is the final quilt block. This is my fancy Stripology ruler. You can also use the orange pop rulers from Kimberbell. This has, it's hard for you to see, but these white lines, they show blocks. And so there is a line for 8.5 inch by 8.5 inch. So I am going to center my quilt block on that 8.5 inch. And I'm using this thread cut line as a guide of where I need to cut. Now, you don't need something like this. You can use plain old ruler and your rotary cutter, and you see perfectly where to cut. Okay? I really like this thing. All right, so my computer is in the way. And so I'm just lining my stitch line up with that. And I can cut the sides, 2 sides at a time. So I'm cut this side, and it fits in the slits, so it makes it to where I can't make it crooked. Can't mess it up too bad. All right, so I'll put that here. This is the other side. Now, and then I'm on the edge of my table, so I just go and I turn to the other side of my table, line it up again, or you can use a rotating cutting mat, and then I do the same thing. Now I cut the top and bottom. Make sure. All right, so done with the fancy ruler. And then just get all my trash out the way. So, yay! We have our final block. So now we can piece our pillow together. Like that. Isn't that cute? So cute. All right, so the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take this, fold it over. It's kind of easy to line them up since they're all cut the same. So I'm just making sure they line up. When I was doing this one, I really made sure this line was centered when I was piecing this to this. But with the big ones, the big house go into the little houses, it's fairly easy. And then we're going to go change the machine over to sewing. And then I'll lay this down. All right, and we're going to go sew 1/4 inch seam allowance. And let's go switch her over now. So I don't know if it's necessary, but I turn the machine off. Okay, so that ain't what I wanted. I'm gonna turn the machine off. Okay, then we use my handy dandy little baby lock screw and loosen that. And there's actually a plug on the back. You see it right here? That's the embroidery foot. It has a plug. And this just comes right off the more you loosen the screw until it comes off. And this is what the embroidery foot looks like for this machine. So take that off. And now I am just putting on a regular foot with the 1/4 inch piecing foot on it. And I just put that on. and I tighten my screw. Okay, now I turn the machine back on. Notice, I did not take the arm off. This machine is so big, you don't need to. I'm gonna show you why. Okay, it's gonna move the arm because it knows it's connected. There's a pin plug here. But watch, I'm gonna hit sewing in my options. When I turn it on, I have sewing, embroidery, and IQ designer. I'm gonna hit sewing. And what it does is it just moves the arm way out the way. So I don't need to change it. I can leave it. This is perfectly fine for me. And using this as a sewing machine now. Where did I go? Oh, over here. All right. So I'm just using a straight stitch, all the like standard 3.5 width, 2.5 length. And it is in the center because that's how it works with this particular piecing foot. I have my pedal already plugged in, and I'm just leaving the thread that I'm using. I'm an embroiderer before a quilter, so I know I probably have people fussing at me telling me I should change my thread. But you're supposed to not see any of this, so it doesn't matter. All right. I am now just using the guide on here. And I don't think, because I'm just piecing these, I don't think I'm supposed to backstitch. But y'all correct me if you think I should. I know I backstitched on some other things. So let me stop here. I'm going to push this down so that seam gets down. Okay. All right. Okay, and cut. And now we have this side of our pieces put together. So now let's go put the top and bottom together. All right, so here's the top, here's the bottom. Flip it like so. Oh, I should probably press this. Let me press this seam real quick. Okay, that is pressed. Now we're going to lay this one on top. And for me, I'm just going to make sure this seam lines up with this one. And everything is cut so where it's supposed to line up perfectly. And I'm going to start by doing this. All right, I'm checking at the comments too. All right, I think that's good. Now we're going to do a 1/4 inch seam allowance down here. All right. Janine asked, do I have to change out my bobbin case? Like I said, I am an embroiderer before a sewer, so I do not. I'm sure there are people that are fussing at me that I should, but I don't. I'm still using my embroidery bobbin case. However, you can change it. All right, now, I just stepped on my new thread rack. That did not go well. Okay. So now we are going to sew this. I love this foot because that little guide right there helps me so much. And I saw somebody mention this little stiletto is from Clover, and I love it. I think I saw the lady from Sally Tomato using it, watching one of her videos, and I was like, ooh, I need that. All right, we now have, why are you not cutting? The front of the pillow. All done. How cute is that? Cute, cute, cute. All right, let's go back to the table so you can see it. Sorry, the view is not big enough for you to see the whole thing. If I turn it that way, you could see it all. No, you still can't. So this is the front of our pillow top. And so this could be a pillow cover. This could be a tabletop. You could just add some binding to it and do the top. They have a little wall hanging. Super duper cute. Let me go press this seam real quick. I have my ironing board set up behind my craft table now to keep it out of the way. All right. So pressed that and we are good to go. So if you are interested in making the pillow, there's a couple more steps. And I don't know if y'all want me to go ahead and show this or are y'all good to go? But I have some more pieces cut. So this is the sashing and kind of like a border. And I don't know how well you're going to see it since my camera's not getting the whole thing. But we'll have one at the top, one at the bottom, and then two on the sides. Let's see if I can back this up. So can you see that, how it goes all the way around? That is what the sashing would look like. And then the way you make the cover is you make an envelope back. So I have two pieces of fabric and I went ahead and finished one edge. So before I started, I pulled out my serger and I just serged the raw edge of this fabric, and then I did the 1/4 inch and did a top stitch like that to finish that. And then same thing for this one. So it has a finished edge there, and we sew. You would do right sides down after the sashing is done now. Right sides down, and then when you sew all of this around, and then when you're done, you can turn it inside out and have a pillow. So let me know if y'all want to see me sewing all of this together right now, or are y'all understanding the concept and think y'all can handle sewing all of this? Let me know. Yay. Yay, thank you, Angela. And Joanne liked it, and Norma, Debbie Jean. Okay, so Lady Fair says she does want to see that. She's going to be making 8-inch pillows. Yay, okay, great, great. Okay, like I said, just a little disclaimer. I'm learning to sew. Like, for instance, I think I do want to put binding around this pillow, but I'm not going to do that. I'm going to do that later because I know I'm probably not doing that right, and I don't want to show y'all the wrong thing. So I think the next thing, okay, so we have the sashing. We're going to turn it right side down, and we're going to pin it to the top here, and same thing, the bottom. And I'll just use my clips and do that. All right. So I think that's good for me. You can add more clips if you want to. Did you even see? Okay, I got 3 clips there. All right, now the bottom. Okay, so now we're going to go sew a 1/4 inch seam allowance here and here. All right, back to the machine. Let me go put all my clips back in my box. Got them for next time. And then, I don't know why my needle thread is so long. Cut that. All right. So if the embroidery arm is in your way for any projects, you can take it off and put the regular sewing section on down here. But it doesn't bother me. All right. I don't know if I should back stitch this, so I'm gonna go ahead and do it. Okay. I feel like my mother-in-law would be very proud of me if she was watching right now. She's my sewer and my quilter. Okay, get to the edge, let me back stitch. Oops, too much. Okay, cut. All right, so got that side done. Now let's do this side. Lower, forward, back, forward. And get brave and go faster. And the instructions on the length to cut these sashes and put the pillow together are all in that extra resource guide I was telling you about that comes in the digital instructions. All right, cut. All right, that time to cut. Okay, so now we have top and bottom. So let me show you. Okay, so we have the top and the bottom. I'm gonna go press those real quick, open. I'm just still using my little mini iron. I just moved it to a different table. I put these little cubbies underneath my pegboard behind me when I'm where y'all see me standing, and it's nice because now I use this as a little ironing station, and I can keep my craft table free of the iron. Trying to make this come up taller. Okay, so I just ironed this open like that, here and here, and now we take these pieces. Let me turn this so you can see the length. Okay, right side down. And this should work. The measurements they gave me should work. I think it was 18.5 this way, and then 16.5 for the short ones. And we just, same process. those. And then do this side. This here. Right side down. So I have now, after this, I'll have completed 2 pillows. My first sewing project. And then I made that zippered bag the other day. I'm on a roll. I'm excited. I'll be sewing everything now. Sorry for the microphone noise there. I saw my thing came off. Just fixing this. Okay. So we're going to go back to the machine and sew 1/4 inch seam allowance here and here. All right, let me check the comments. If you want, okay, Angela has a suggestion. If you want coordinating at the edge of the pillow that goes on before you sew the 2 pieces. Cording. Okay, it's inside the seam. All right, that's a good idea, Angela. All right, hi Karen. I see she's on her son's iPad. All right. Yeah, the border really does make the pattern pop. Baby Jean, I totally agree. It brings out those rust colors in the flowers. Love it. Okay, so let's go. Oops, kick the camera. Don't kick the camera. Be nice to the camera. Okay, here we go. Probably need more clips. I'm not putting enough clips probably. Okay. Lower. Stitch, back stitch. Okay. So I think I can sew the back of the pillow on next and still do the binding later. Am I correct on that? Or, right? Somebody let me know if that's okay. Because if not, then it's just not going to have binding. But I liked the example picture they showed. It had the same rust color fabric they used as binding on top of this outer border. And back stitch, and forward, and cut. Okay, done. Turn it around. Do the same thing to the other side. Lower foot. Go forward, go backward, go forward. Okay. It's funny because like I know most people learning about embroidery came from a sewing background and they know how to sew and now they want to learn embroidery. I'm the complete opposite. I knew nothing about sewing, wanted to learn embroidery, learned it. Now that I've gotten a handle on embroidery, now I want to learn sewing. All right, so we have that border done. So let's go press that open. All right, so you can see we did this. Now it goes all the way around. Then we have this. So I'm gonna go press these open real quick. I see one spot I might need to fix. When I did my little pink blocks, I cut the fabric to be 4.5. I think I should have cut it bigger because it pulled in some areas, or I didn't place it just right when I placed it down on top of the batting. And so some of the edges are showing. So like right here, this one. So if you make a 4-inch block just with a solid fabric, make it like 5 by 5 when you're doing it in the hoop if you want to do the quilting on top, because then you'll get this, you can cut it. Like I ended up not even have to cut this because all of that, some of the pink fabric was inside the cut line for some of it. And I think it's like that here. So I think a way that I can fix that would be to go and sew this a smidge in right here. I'll see. I'll worry about fixing that later. But I think I'll have to go in and sew that a smidge in. Should I do that now before I add on the back? It's like that here too. You can add some fabric glue right there too. What do y'all think, my experts? How should I fix this little piece here? Let's see, hooked on applique, you would know. So if you put the right sides together and sew around the entire perimeter, you can flip it out and you won't need binding, correct? Okay. That's what I did with my first pillow. But if I do that, if I add the back on and sew around the perimeter, can I still add binding after if I want to? On the outer, like sew this together like that. Then do my outer perimeter, right? Turn it right side out. So now I have a seam up here at the top. I could still go and add binding over it, right? If I wanted to. Okay. She says, if I want to bind it, sew the wrong sides together, then add the binding after like a quilt. Okay. Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Okay, let me know what you think I should do to fix this. I think I'm just going to go and sew it a little closer. I wonder if I could do it with that same foot on there though. Let's go try that. Alright, so I'm going to take this back, and I have obviously a guide to stitch line, and I'm going to sew on the inside of that a smidge. And that's just going to make, it's going to be bulky, but it'll be fine. Or I could just go in right here. Let me see. I'm just going in a little bit more on that seam I already did. I don't know if that's going to make the sides messed up. And I'm hoping now I catch that pink block. I guess this is the part when I see so many people using a seam ripper. I don't want to use a seam ripper, so I'm going to find out another solution. Let's see if that fixes my problem. It will be too bulky that way. I figured. worked, but it's going to be a little bulky right there. But I think it's going to be okay. It's actually not bad. All right, so now I don't have any of that coming through. All right, I'm going to do the same thing to the other side to make a match and to fix this pink one because that one looks not right too. Yeah, I'm just going like maybe 1/8 of an inch over. Okay, that's that seam. Back it up, forward, and cut. Okay. All right, now I'll go press those open. And I think I fixed my little problem. So same thing on this side now. So it might look a little funny because this is a smidge wider than that, but I'm okay with that. I am not perfect, therefore my pillow is not perfect. Okay, now the last step is adding the back. And that's going around the whole thing. Okay, so I pressed those open. So there we go. That is done. So now I have my 2 back pieces. I think these are 12 inches by 18.5 inches. Then I serged the raw edge and then turned it in probably not quite a 1/2 inch and then did a 1/4 inch seam allowance. And they are going to overlap. I think I made one a little bit bigger than the other because on my last pillow I find that the close wasn't. I made one 13 inches. So that one's going to go on the inside. So this will be the one you see, the 12-inch one. Okay, so it's 12 inches this way, 18.5 this way. All right. And then maybe this is the one I want shown. It doesn't matter. Okay, and then this one I made a little longer, 13.5. So you got all this overlap, which is still enough room to put the pillow in. But my other one, it seemed like it was like this after the pillow, and it was, they were too close together, so I don't want that to happen again. All right, so just lining up all these corners like that. And then we'll clip all the way around and then sew all the way around. And I need more clips. All my clips are over there. Okay, let me look at the comments real quick. Thank you. Karen said, see, I know more than what I'm doing than I think I do. Thank you. Debbie says, I always have to remember that quilting always shrinks my blocks, hence the name Debbie the Ripper. Oh, thank you, Angela. Okay, she said mini quilts have different size borders on the top and the bottom, so it'll look great finished. Yay, thank you. Okay, and then my back, it'll be a smidge wider because of my new seam. All right, that should be fine. All right, let's clip this sucker together. Yeah, because I shrunk in the sides, I got a little more overlap than I previously measured for. I'm going to be sparse with my clips because I have some more somewhere in this room, but I don't know where they are at the moment. I am going to put a clip here. Make sure that stays. And then where's the other one here? And the last time I did a pillow, I kind of had the same thing happen, what I did with those pink blocks, where I had some spots where the fabric didn't catch. So I really want to make sure I have this lined up good so that doesn't happen again. Get under there. Okay. Corner. And then I'm going to make sure this spot where that other edge is here. And now this one. Clipped. Okay, got 2 extra. Okie dokie. So now we're going to go to the sewing machine and do 1/4 inch all the way around. Oh, somebody said my overlap should be horizontal, not vertical. I got it vertical. I did it vertical on my other one. Maybe that's why I didn't look good. Should I turn it? So yeah, I have it. So sorry, I'm going to put you back here. Okay, so if you look at the wrong side, this is the top of my pillow, right? The top. And I have my opening going up and down. So Angela is suggesting that I turn this and have my opening going horizontal. I think in the instructions it had it vertical. That's where I'm getting that from. Okay, so let's turn it. See if that makes it better when we're done. Okay, so turn it. And then this one this way. And that's where I'm going to have the overlap is going to be, because I did shrink in these. So when I stitch it, I want to make sure I stitch on this side because this fabric's going to poke out a little more. Lots of thinking. Make sure I get this right. Either that or we can just trim a little bit off of here. I'm good. Yeah, this ain't gonna work. Let's see. I need to trim this because this overlap here is messing me up. So that is about 1/2 inch. Let me trim that real quick. Where did I put my ruler? I need a ruler that is longer. Okay. Yeah, see, and I move it anyway. Yeah, that's good enough. All right, I don't want to mess up my stitching and thinking I'm catching both fabrics, and I'm not, because this overhang will mess me up. Okay. And with this one too. I cut the wrong side. Yeah, I cut the wrong side. Oh, this is a day. This is a day. All right. No worries, Angela. No, I'm learning. Y'all learn the embroidery from me. I learned the sewing from y'all. This is a good way to go. I cut the wrong side. Oh, I'm such a... Okay. If my husband was here right now, he would call me a couillon. And a couillon is Cajun for goofball, silly. Not thinking. This is easier to cut. Okay. Somebody just knocked at my door. I think that's a package. I think it's something from my craft room. That'll be fun to play with when I'm done. Okay, cutting the right thing. Okay. Sorry if I'm taking so long, guys. I'm cutting it a smidge less than a ½ inch off to make up. Okay, let's try this again. And still not quite. I'm trying to make it to where y'all could see the whole pillow. A little better. Okay. Now, I want my opening horizontal. Horizontal. And my finished, right side's down. Here's my finished line for the opening. And now let's pin this sucker all the way around. I'm excited to walk out of this room when I'm done and see how the progress is going in the playroom. Okay, so here is that seam. I'm gonna clip here. Oops, there goes a clip. And then here. Needs to go in more. Okay. Almost getting it, guys. here. And then here. Okay, finally. Ooh, that took forever. I want to make sure it's right. And unclipping stuff is better than seam ripping stuff. All right, now let's go to the machine. And we're finally going to finish this pillow up. So, all the way around. And I sewed together a little pillow from an old project that I didn't finish from like the spring a little while ago before I started this video. And I have to say I got fairly good at turning around at the corners. So let's see if I can do that again. Back, forward. Okay. Use my little stiletto. Okay, let's see. I want to get right there and then turn. Not bad, not bad. It is catching on my embroidery arm a little bit since this is a bigger pillow. Not bad though. Okay, there's good. Turn. And I could go one more stitch. Alright. That's a little better. Ooh, I'm getting fast. I hope my shoulder's not in the way and y'all are seeing good. Turn. This one pokes out a little because it's at one piece. Stand. Okay. And we're at the end. Back stitch, forward, and cut. Oh. Let's see what we accomplished. All right. Debbie Jean, what she said, you're doing great. I give you lots of credit for being able to do this live. I get crabby if my husband walks in the room to see what I'm doing. If I'm having issues. I get crabby with my husband too, because it never fails. I'll show him, especially like with vinyl projects, but even embroidery too. I'll show him things I made and he's like, it doesn't quite look centered, or the line is a little off, or he just notices, like, remember I say we are our worst critic? No, my husband is my worst critic. I'm like, nobody's gonna see that, just you. All right, let's turn this baby around and just turn those. I'm just sticking my finger in those corners there. You can use a point turner if you would like. Look at that! Isn't that cute? I like it. I like it. So I just have this corner to here to turn, and then I would try to press this better so it pokes out nice on the side. And then I could put my pillow inside. Ta-da! I probably should have had this going like this instead, but it's fine. Nobody's looking at the back of the pillow. All right. What do y'all think? Sorry that took so long. Because let's see. What time is it? Yeah, it's 12:30. It's time for lunch, guys. We've been here 2 hours. So, yay. I hope y'all like this. This would be super cute as a wall hanging, too. I totally agree, Cecilia. So, let me turn this back in my spot. All right. So, yay. Thank y'all so much for joining me today. Here is the big picture. We have 18 by 18 inch quilted pillow using the blocks from the September perfectly pieced subscription. Came out super cute. Here's the back. And again, you can put your pillow inside, but don't do like me. Make this go facing down. I know there's always something I'm going to mess up, but there we go. I hope y'all like it. So I have a link for the Perfectly Pieced subscription in the description box below. You can go and click on that and get all the information to see if you would like to sign up. Remember, you can get both the digital subscription or the physical box delivered to your door, which comes with fabric, thread, notion, and printed instructions. Other than that, I think that's it. A big shout out and thank you to MeTime for sponsoring today's video. If you have any questions, leave them down in the comments below, especially if you're watching the replay, and I'll try to get back to you. And if not, take pictures and show me what you're making, because the possibilities are endless. So now that we have 3 boxes done, I want to play around with combining the 3 blocks from each month to make something totally new. And I think that would be really cute with like either houses on the side and different blocks going in the middle to make a pattern. Or there's so many things that you can do, even just combining the July and the August blocks together. I've seen already in the MeTime community on Facebook some beautiful, beautiful things being made. So take pictures, post them in my Carly Bell Facebook group, and go join the MeTime community Facebook group too for more inspiration. They have lots of beautiful pictures of things being made in there. So other than that, thank you so much for joining me today. Sorry today was a long one, but we finished it. We got a whole pillow made. That's a big deal for me because it's hard for me to finish these things. I look forward to being back with y'all at the end of September, and I will show you the October box ahead of time. So remember, you can skip. If you've subscribed and you see the video, I'm showing you what's in the box and you don't care for it, you can always skip it. So keep that in mind when you subscribe. So other than that, that's it, guys. I will be back next Friday for Sip and Stitch on my usual Friday lives where we do a project from start to finish. I have not decided on the project yet, though. So if you have any suggestions for me, leave them in the comments or message me on Facebook and let me know what y'all want to see for Sip and Stitch. So I hope you have a great rest of your Thursday and weekend ahead. and I will see you next time. Bye, guys.